So I've been seeing the Cinderella movie being suggested to me for a while now, and it kind of made me nostalgic for the story itself, so I decided to make it my theme for November. And I thought that this would actually be a really fun theme for a fall month because I could tie pumpkins into it and it would be completely natural. So in the end I went for a sort of magical glass slipper pumpkin and star theme. And I really like how this came out. This is also actually one of the themes where I only use doodles and no washi tape, which was a little bit different for me, but I kind of was feeling it this month. Anyways, I'm starting off with just writing the name of the month in kind of spidery cursive black letters, and I did that because I didn't want it to take away from the doodles that I would be drawing, which are also actually very simple, but again, that's kind of what I was going for this month. Anyways, I'm starting off with a pumpkin doodle, and I'm moving on to a glass slipper doodle right underneath that, and another pumpkin doodle, and just a few starry doodles to fill in some of the empty spaces. I didn't kind of fill in too much of the space on these spreads just because I wanted to keep things a little bit more minimal than I usually do. And on the right side, I'm just writing the quote. And this is actually a quote from Cinderella. And I'm using a combination of cursive and sort of spidery block letters, just because I thought that this would kind of make the spread a little bit more fun and a little bit more loose. And the quote says, "Perhaps the greatest risk any of us will ever take is to be seen as we really are." And I really love that quote, and I thought that it was just very pretty and a great one to add to my setup. And on the same page, I'm decorating it with just a few more doodles. And then it was time for the fun part. It was time to color in the doodles. And for the glass slippers, I'm actually using this really pretty dragonfly glaze acrylic paint. And this paint is super shiny. It doesn't really come out as shiny as it is on camera, but it kind of has a very rainbow effect, and it kind of flows between a sort of purplish and bluish color. And I thought that this would be perfect for the glass slipper to kind of represent the magical glass. Anyways, I'm also filling in some of the starry doodles with the same color and just adding a few dots around in the same color as well, just to give it a little bit more sparkle. And my final touch for the spread was coloring in the pumpkins in an orange color because, well, you know, pumpkins. And I really tried my best to edit this video to actually show the sparkly color, but I couldn't. So I kind of settled somewhere in between, making my hands look kind of weird and grainy and showing the color to the best of my ability. So if this video looks a little bit weird in terms of kind of lighting, this is why. I just did my best. Moving on to the next spread, which is my habit tracker and my mood tracker spread. And this is probably one of my simplest mood trackers that I've ever done. And I'm just using a bunch of stars, and each star is going to be representing a separate day of the month. And the rest of it I'm just filling in with a few more starry doodles just to kind of make that area a little bit more interesting. And for my habit tracker, as usual, I'm using my trusty calendar stamps to just stamp a bunch of those on that side of the spread for my habits. And I'm just adding a few more doodles here and there just to make the spread a little bit more fun. Moving on to my calendar spread. I'm going for my usual kind of diagonal half square setup. And I actually started that off with a mistake, and I covered that in with whiteout, and I know it doesn't look great, but for some reason I just didn't feel like cutting up the back of my journal and gluing a piece of that in. That would have looked better probably, but I just wanted to go for the simplicity of whiteout, and you'll see that I kind of try to cover that area up with a glass slipper doodle, and I think it sort of works. And I also made the mistake of adding too many sort of half square to the bottom of the spread, and I kind of tried to remedy that situation by drawing just a bunch of starry doodles over them to make it seem like that was the plan all along. I'm not sure if it worked, but this is what I did. And I'm just writing in the days of the week in just plain black cursive lettering. And of course adding in the fun part, which is the doodles. And after that, of course, I painted in all of the sparkly doodles with my sparkly paint, which I really love, and my pumpkin doodles with just the orange marker. By the way, in case you're wondering why I'm being kind of very sketchy with my orange marker and not coloring things in completely, it's because I find that it started bleeding through my pages so easily that I really had to be careful to only go over it once. That's kind of the result, but I still think that it looks kind of fun, and I actually kind of like the sketchy look. And moving on to the final spread. And I actually started this one with just putting a bunch of doodles all over the place and then adding in the headings. And I have no idea why I did that, but I decided to change things up a little bit. After I added in the headings, I kind of realized that something was missing in that area, so I added this kind of bordery header type of situation that I thought made it look a little bit more fun. I don't know if I like how it looks, but I liked it at the time. I'm just not sure about it now that I'm looking at it while I'm doing this voiceover. Anyways, this is actually it for this setup. It was pretty simple, but I really actually like how most of it came out, and it really kind of helped me get over the nostalgic feelings I was having about the whole Cinderella story, so I'm really happy about that. I really hope that you like it as well, and let me know if you have any particular plans for your November bullet journals or for your November, well, as a month in general. I hope to see you in my next video. Be you, always. Bye!